Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Peter Jennings. I go by CSURAM88 across the daily fantasy industry. Here doing another lineup review at Fantasy Labs. I'm reviewing the Thunderdome for PGA. This is for the Zurich Open. It's getting out a day late because the tournament finished a day late, and the tournament ended up only having 54 holes. So very bizarre week. The weather played havoc, and I did not have a good week. I made my team... especially for this specific tournament, I made a team that really planned for a specific weather pattern. I assumed that they'd be able to get Thursday play in, and then there'd be a big advantage for the guys going off early Friday morning because the winds were supposed to pick up big time on Friday afternoon. Well, the tournament got delayed on Thursday. Friday morning was great scoring, and then the Friday midday to afternoon was brutal. A lot of guys played really poorly because the winds were really up. So I'll review my team, take a look at some notable things. I finished almost dead last in this tournament, 18th place. I had 3 guys miss the cut. 2 of them on the number. One missed by 1 stroke, and Justin Rose missed it by 2. So looking at my team, I went with Jamie Donaldson, Lucas Glover, Kizire, Luke List, O'Hare, and Rose. All these guys had late tee times on Thursday and early tee times on Friday. And what ended up happening is all these guys ended up having to play more holes on Friday. As you can see, List shot 68 the first day, or with his first round, then a 75, so really struggled. Sean O'Hare, 67, 76. Justin Rose is just bad in both spots. So I'm pretty happy with how I constructed my team. List just barely missed, O'Hare barely missed, and Rose I thought was the nut cash game play this week. Jason Day and Rose were very close for me, and I leaned Rose because he had better tee times in my mind. And in addition to that, he had amazing course history, which is just a slight bump. So I'm pretty happy overall, again, with my process. One thing that I think I might have overdone, and I have a tendency to do this, is really buy into these tee times, especially with higher winds. And I think my process was right, but I didn't account for the variance in the weather on Thursday and the variance of weather throughout the rest of the week. So a lot of these guys would have been my favorite plays no matter what. The one guy I loved, who was probably my number 1 ranked player, was Charles Howell III, and I left him off this team because he had a bad tee time. So I wanted the correlation of the guys with the good tee times and was hoping that there'd be a big difference. So we'll talk real quickly just about every play. Donaldson I thought was a great cut maker in this spot. Played pretty well. He was the guy I was most nervous about after the first day. Obviously, he had the bad round and really bounced back to make the cut. But he's a solid player, not a ton of upside for me with him. I thought he was and again, all these guys have upside because they can, most of these guys can win the tournament. But for his price, I thought he was just a good solid play, not like a boom or bust or even just like a high upside play that I liked. Loved Lucas Glover this week. He was one of my favorite plays right there with Howell III. Great price on him. The knock on him has always been putting. And as Colin talked about on the podcast, I didn't weight guys who were great putters at all. In fact, kind of gave bump to guys who are bad putters just because it's all about just getting it close. And, the advantage that good putters have is less on a course like Zurich, or like at the tournament like Zurich, at the course down in New Orleans. Just because, the course is relatively easy. There's so many birdies out there, and the greens weren't extremely tough, and a lot of people are just two-putting a lot of greens, so it's really about ball striking at this course. So I looked into that, and Glover really popped. He's a great ball striker, and he had a nice tournament. He was a very popular pick, 35% you can see here. Kizire was a lock for me, 40% owned in the Thunderdome. It's just evident that he was a great cash game play, great play in general, had a great tournament, and certainly someone I'm paying attention to. A lot of talent with Kizire. Luke List, I've played him a couple weeks in a row. Love his driving distance. He started off the tournament great. I was really looking forward to watching him over the weekend, and then he just absolutely imploded, including a bogey on 18, which I knew would make him miss the cut. A lot of the DFS Twitter guys, especially the guys who play golf, were all tilting about List, and that was the case with me as well. So I liked the process with him. He had a great tee time, just didn't quite work out, played really poorly in that second round. Sean O'Hare, I thought was a great play for this tournament specifically. He was really popping for me. Had a great 67 opening round. Really struggled with the wind. Made an awful double bogey. Just didn't have it at that second day. But again, I liked him with the tee time. Popped in the miles. I talked about him before. And then finally, Justin Rose. I probably should have gone day. Even after seeing all, this is one thing I'll point out here. Rose is only 25% owned, and if we look through some of these guys, I'm sure the winner, or someone near the top had Jason Day at 50%. And I talked to some other sharp people, and they're pretty convinced that Day was the sharpest play. And I get that. He's just a better golfer than Rose, and especially on a course like this, he's going to be able to make so many birdies. So I really liked Rose because of the tee time and just with the course history, but probably should have leaned Day. Not just trying to be results-oriented, but Day is just a far superior DraftKings golfer than Rose. And I shouldn't say far superior, but he's just a guy that can make more birdies than almost anybody on tour, make eagles, and when the scoring's there, he's an elite option. So that's kind of final thoughts on my team. Let's look at just some of these golfers that were on the top. Byung-Hung An was really the guy that made the difference. Coming off the injury at the Masters, he said he was injured and recommended not to play him on Twitter, which I thought was really funny. But he's back, and he was one of the highest ranked golfers in the field, and he's a great player just in general. Had 2 birdie streaks of 3 or more in this. He was really a critical part of the tournament, obviously. So I thought he was a great play, and certainly, I respect the guys who took him because I thought he was a pretty sharp, slightly contrarian play. Kizar, you see a lot of these lineups. Wilcox had a great round. We love Wilcox. He's a great guy on the tour who talks to us, the DFSers out there. So happy to see him do well. Just kind of looking through the rest of these. I mean, a lot of similar names that we see. Ches Reavie, our guy, missed the cut badly, so we're going to have to pay attention to him. But yeah, that was really the gist of the tournament. Kind of weird that it was only 54 holes, but hopefully we'll have a full tournament this week, and you guys can get something out of this. So again, not my best team. Nothing that I take away too much. Maybe I overweighted the weather a little bit. I still think that there's an edge there, and I like that process in general, trying to find the guys who are on the right side of the draw. But when there's so much variance in the weather, when there's rain lurking, maybe I overweighted it by just trying to get those guys who had those early morning tee times on Friday. So one other point, I do both these videos where I get burned. I mean, this is a $5,000 tournament, and clearly I did not have a good showing. So I will continue to post these regardless of result, and hope you guys get something out of it. So good luck to everyone. Hope to see more Fantasy Lab subscribers at the top of the leaderboard.